everyone. This is Omar from the Third Rail. I hope you guys are doing fine. I'm just going to talk a little bit about Israel and Palestine. I know you already had enough of this, but you have to listen. I want to show you the cunning and the wickedness of Israel and the ethno state of Israel. They did a ceasefire because Trump told them to. It's a two-part ceasefire. Now, everybody knows they're going to do the first part. But you could tell when the media, the mainstream media, the fake media, news media, say, well, we don't even know if part two is going to come into tuition. Why are they saying that? Because they know something that we don't know. So what happened is they started releasing hostages. There was babies called the Bibas children. These were two infants and their mother who died in captivity in Gaza. Now, we condemn these people for being kidnapped in the first place. I mean, you have to. If you don't condemn that, then you're fucking you're a war criminal. I mean, we don't want nobody to get kidnapped, okay? And Israel should stop kidnapping Palestinian women and children for no reason under military administrative rules. Now, the Bibas kids were an infant and I don't know, and a toddler and their mother. They were taking hostages, not by Hamas, but by a different group, and they had him inside the tunnels. Now, if you notice, when the hostages are being released, they are very grateful to their captors. I know it's going to sound crazy, and I'm going to tell you why. Listen to me. The reason that they say goodbye, they start kissing their heads, they hug them is because they have spent 15 months trying to keep them alive from their own military. What I mean is Hamas, who have captured them, which is wrong, have them hostages, but they've been moving them from place to place to place for 15 months to keep them alive from the Israeli military that's been destroying everything from schools to universities. They destroyed it looks like Japan after the nuclear bombs. And that's why they're so grateful. So the Bibas kids were killed on November 23rd with their mother. There was a bombing. They killed the mother, the two toddlers, and the captive. There was and the people keeping in captivity, right? And Hamas released a statement on November 23rd. This is like a year ago that they were killed. Now, when they were bringing back the hostages, they brought back the bodies. Now the bodies are all burned by bombing. You know, they're not fully. They're skeletons, right? So to shows you how Israel is a cunning, wicked entity, evil. A matter of fact, I think Israel is more dangerous to the United States in the future than any other country in the world. I'm serious. So they bring back and they put by mistake, Hamas, they send a wrong body of a woman, Palestinian woman who was killed probably inside with the bombing. Because since there were women, toddlers, and a woman, so Hamas will put women to keep them company or to watch over them because they don't want the men to be involved with women. They still, that gives you an idea that if Hamas could not identify the women, how did Israel know that these children were strangled to death by hand? Let me listen to this liar here. Listen.
We can confirm that baby Kfir Bibas, aged just 10 months old, and his older brother Ariel, aged 4, were both brutally murdered by terrorists while being held hostage in Gaza, no later than November 2023. Okay. These two innocent children were taken hostage alive together with their mother Shiri from their home on October 7th, 2023.
All right.
Contrary to Hamas's lies, Ariel and Kfir were not killed in an airstrike. Ariel and Kfir Bibas were murdered by terrorists in cold blood. The terrorists did not shoot the two young boys.
They didn't shoot them.
They killed them
with
their bare hands. Afterwards, they committed horrific acts to cover up these atrocities. This assessment is based on both forensic findings from the identification process and intelligence that supports the findings. We have shared these findings, intelligence and forensics, with our partners around the world so they can verify it, and that the entire world will know exactly how the Hamas terrorist organization operates. Ariel and Kfir were murdered and then yesterday returned in a cynical and cruel ceremony in Gaza.
Okay. All right. Don't you notice they've been trying to get the shock value from day one? 40 babies were beheaded. They put babies in ovens. They put the babies on a clothesline. They stabbed the mother in the uterus and took out the baby. They've been trying to shock the world with lies. I don't know. But the problem is the Israeli government they are bad liars. I mean, we got a lot of good Jewish writers in the United States and Hollywood. They should hire some. The whole idea is this was supposed to start the next phase of the war because then the ceasefire is over since the children were strangled. First of all, why will Hamas strangle these kids and keep all the adults alive? I mean, why would you strangle a toddler? I mean, with their bare hands. This is to create a viciousness, because if they shot him, it's a little bit of mercy there. As if shooting them was okay, but if you with your bare hands, this is to extort outrage. And the problem is, we know they're lying. A lot of Americans know they're lying. The problem is the Israeli civilian population, they believe that. The Israelis still believe that 40 babies were beheaded, that women were raped. It was all lies. Remember, all the Israeli women were raped, and all lies, everything is lie. Everything they had said just blew in the face. The people who killed the children is Israel. The people who starved the kids are Israel. They had a program, AI program called Where's Daddy? The whole idea was to track Palestinian men until they get home and blow up their homes at night where their children and their wives are there. Nobody said a word. Mainstream, I watch MSNBC, CNN, nobody. You crazy? They can't say shit. That's old Jewish influence, man. It's just Jewish media. I don't give a fuck what they say. All that shit is ADL-owned, AIPAC-owned media. So what happened is, even Netanyahu, he said the heaven shook because of this great crime of these children. They've been strangled to death. You know, they want to use that words with their bare hands to create an outrage so they can start killing Palestinians, because Israel is taking revenge for the strangulation of toddlers. Who strangles kids, man? I mean, that's got to be the biggest evil that could happen. So to project that is they're trying to get a reaction where they could now start killing Palestinians. Then something happened that messed up everything. This is what happened here.
نعم نتابع معك الذين تم تسليمهم.
All right. This is an Israeli hostages kissing the head of Hamas fighter. Now, I told you why, because for 15 months, these people, the Hamas fighters, have been trying to keep him alive from his own Air Force. 40 to 50 hostages were murdered by Netanyahu. Not one hostage was killed in captivity. They were all killed by Israeli discriminate bombing with 1-ton bombs that we give them free. This is what this is the next day.
نعم نتابع معك
الذين تم تسليمهم 24 أسيرا وبقي قيدا على قيد الحياة وبقي أسير واحد ليكون العدد 25.
All right. So when that happened, all that bullshit with the strangulation with the hand all went evaporated in thin air. They didn't talk about that no more. You understand? So everything that Israel does is a lie. Everything is a lie. And they do that to lie to their own public. Did you know that Israelis, almost 90% believe that Israel has not done enough in Gaza? These are liberal Jews. These are liberal Jews who drink latte in Tel Aviv. This is the problem. If the Israeli public was to demand peace like they demanded the release of hostages, we will have a peace process. But they support the expansion of settlers and killing the Palestinians. They don't see Palestinians as human beings. Now what Israel does is
Aid trucks were stuck in a long line at Egypt.
the Jews in World War II, we read in books, we were not there. Well, this is what they said. They said they had the ghettos, the Polish ghettos. These were areas where Jews were put into these areas as ghettos, and they were deliberately starved by the Nazis. That's what we read in the books. That's what we saw in school. We were not there. I'm not here to deny give a stamp to it. But if it did happen, that's the craziest shit, and I think it was wrong. But the Jews in Israel are doing the same blueprint that they said happened to them in Poland and other Eastern European countries. They're doing the same thing. You see, they are using food as a weapon of war. They are starving children and men and women. They've been doing this for a year and a half, and we didn't say nothing. We didn't do nothing. We just gave them more bombs. This is what they're doing in the month of Ramadan. People are fasting. You have a ceasefire. This is part of an agreement.
Rafah border crossing on Sunday after Israel blocked them from going into Gaza as a standoff over a truce with Hamas escalated. The first phase of the previously agreed ceasefire expired on Saturday, and talks for a second phase have yet to begin. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told a cabinet meeting on Sunday the country has agreed to a U.S. proposal for a temporary ceasefire in Gaza. The truce proposes to halt fighting until after the Muslim Ramadan holy month and the Jewish Passover holiday ending around April 20th. Ramadan began on Saturday with thousands of Palestinians seen sitting.
This was not a war against Hamas. This was a war against the Palestinians' right to exist as human beings. They want to take over our land, and they're doing it in front of our own eyes. Every night I watch TV, every evening I would see Nicole Wallace, whatever her name is, never mentions Gaza. Rachel Maddow, Anderson Cooper, Abby Phillips, all these mainstream news, they never mention Gaza. They'll talk about Putin is a war criminal. Look what he did in Ukraine. Putin did not do that in Ukraine. This is our ally, Netanyahu, and our weapons. But they're scared to say something. The ADL is going to come after them. They know that.
Together between piles of rubble in Gaza for the first break of their daily fast in the evening. The proposed truce requires Hamas to release half of the living and dead hostages on the first day. The remainder are to be released at the end if a deal is reached on a permanent ceasefire. But Hamas has rejected the idea of a temporary extension and called on mediators Egypt and Qatar to intervene. It said it was committed to the originally agreed ceasefire, with second phase talks aimed at a permanent end to the war. On Sunday, Netanyahu demanded Hamas release the hostages, threatening what he said were additional consequences, without giving further details.
What are you going to do? What you going to do? Bomb a couple more houses, you fucking criminal? What are you going to do, you filthy animal? What are you going to do? Are we going to constitute? And Donald Trump will come out, we're going to rain hell on them. What are you going to do, Mr. Trump? What are you going to do? They're all dead, man.
In response to the rising tensions, Egypt's foreign minister called the use of aid as a weapon of collective punishment a flagrant violation of international humanitarian law. Badr Abdeletti also said the country was continuing intensive efforts to start the second phase talks. At a press briefing, Abdeletti said Egypt has a Gaza reconstruction plan ready to be presented at an emergency Arab summit in Cairo on Tuesday. It comes after Arab states firmly rejected President Donald Trump's plan for the U.S. to take control of Gaza and resettle Palestinians. Abdeletti said he could not give details yet, but that the Egyptian plan will ensure Palestinians remain in their land.
All right, there you have it. Anyway, I'm gonna finish on this. I just want to touch base. Did you know that the Bibas family are suing Netanyahu and Israel not to use their babies in the media? Because they know what happened to the babies. The babies were not strangled. The babies were bombed to death by Netanyahu. Go look it up. Bibas family sue Israel. All right? Until we meet next time, this is Omar from the Third Rail. Love you all. I hope you enjoy this. Let me know, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.